Hello, today I'm going to talk about Gestalt principle in UI design. Okay, this is still in topic number 6. Okay, but it's related with UI design. Okay, the principle that been used for this lecture of UI design is Gestalt principle. Okay, so if you're looking into this slide, you can download from our Google Drive. You can see the reference that you can refer to this slide also was based on tdesign.center. Okay, if you're looking into Gestalt principle, that can be divided into 5 principles. Gestalt principle already exists since more than 10 years ago. Not to be exact, I can't remember the date of Gestalt principle founder, uh, but actually it's been used until today. Number first principle was based on similarity principle, okay, and then followed by proximity, enclosure, continuations, and the last one of figure and ground. Okay, let me see this image, the first image. What is the first thing you see? Okay, some of you might see is a picture of person, picture of face of person, man, actually a man. Maybe some of you see different kind of things like houses. There are 2 houses, and maybe they can see a young boy drawing something. Okay, okay, that reflects to what you are viewing, or at the first glance you might see human face. Of course, some of you may not. Okay, but when you're looking closely, you might see more details. Okay, so the idea of Gestalt principle, something like this: the whole of something is more important. Means that overall, you can see this man face. Okay, more important to understanding than the individual parts. So actually, in our world also we apply the same thing. So you cannot jump into conclusion until you get more detailed information. Then only you can say this is what, and you can jump into conclusion after you get more information. Okay, in UI principle that related with Gestalt principle, we can see, okay, number one, similarity. In similarity, you're going to put the similar object into one group, okay, like this. Okay, in similarity of the object form grouping, okay, if you look into this object, and this object, you can see the patterns, the similarity pattern. At left, light and dark shades create similar among horizontal group. Okay, so and also vertical group, and also you can see the last one at right, circle and square shape create similarity among vertical group. See, this vertical group is a similar shape, and this is vertical group, right? Horizontal. This is the first one, left, light, dark shade create similar among horizontal. This is the similar group, this is similar group, and so on. Okay. In terms of similarity also, they can apply, each icon has different image. Of course, you see this icon have different image, but they have a similarity in terms of size. So when they have one similarity factors, they can be grouped into one group. Okay, these icon are similar in shape and style, so that's why they can put it in group, right? So this is another example that you can apply similarity concept of Gestalt principle. You can see each block have different icon. Yes, they have different icon, but they have a similar structure. See that the icon, the text, the icon and the text, the icon and the text, something like that. And you can put it in one group of similarity. Okay. Next principle, we call it Gestalt, call it proximity. Proximity, when elements are close together, they are not same, but they have a relationship that close together. Okay, proximity. Okay, by using white spaces, we can separate as well and build relation between the elements. So you see this, they are not the same. English and language, language and currency are not the same, but they used to put together as one group, right? They have a relationship. For example, if you use English, the currency is different. If you use Malay, the currency is different. Something like that. So proximity reflects to something not similar but have relationship. So that's why they can put in one group, right? So this is another example that company, you have all the information that have relationship. They are not the same, but they have relationship. Discover also have relationship among them, like trust and safety, gift card, mobile, ANB action, and so on. That's the reason why we put it in one groups. Okay, Gestalt principle is about how you group this the visual strategy. Okay, so approximately looking into the relationship. Okay, similarity looking into shape, similar aspect. Okay, proximity is about relationship. Okay, so this is something that related with proximity. White space, however, can be used to show the group itself. Okay. This is another example using white space effectively, and group related element are critical to giving your website clear visual hierarchy. Something like this: fish, BMW, door, numbers, friends, armchair, people. Although the information is not connected, but maybe some reason they can be put together. Okay, let's have a relationship. Depend on the author itself. Okay, next principle, the third principle is enclosure. Okay, what is enclosure? It's things that have a boundary area them are seen as a group. Okay, things like this. Okay, in Facebook, this is one of the example that been applied in Facebook. Right, you are putting in enclosure, right? See this post by T Design, an Australia expert, blah blah blah. Okay, they put it as one enclosure. Okay, this is as one enclosure, one post. So if you're looking into the enclosure, this is the blur box that show one enclosure and separate by white spaces, by line, things like that. There is another, this is the first enclosure that related with the post. Okay, there are border around the link representative. The image, the title along with a short description appear to be grouped. So that's mean by how you put enclosure, make it small enclosure, big enclosure, things like that can be grouped into one. Okay, this is another enclosure to reflect the command, the social interactions with the user. Okay, you see this is another enclosure, right? So enclosure is very helpful when you have a limited space with a lot of information. That's why enclosure is very popular in social media style of post, because social media is involving a lot of information and they want to make it cluster style. It means that they want to look nicer, and in order to look nicer they have to be grouped. All right, then only it can look more manageable and things like that. So enclosure is the principle that's been used in most of the social media posts. So this is another example. You see from University Technology Malaysia, share the post of Facebook. You see this is the first separate link by pictures, things like that. They put it as an enclosure. Okay, so this is another example, enclosure. This is another enclosure. This is another enclosure, separated by white spaces or border. Okay. Next principle, number 4 in principle is continuation. Continuation. Okay. The concept of continuation apply with, if you look into human eye, they will follow the lines. For example, follow the curve, follow the sequence of the shape, things like that. That's called, the Gestalt principle mentioned about continuations. Okay, something like when you go for the map visualization, you can see human eye tend to follow the road, okay, tend to follow the single dot, things like that. So continuation is another principle of Gestalt to help you in designing user interface. Okay, so that's continuation. For example, apply for continuous media like audio, video, things like that. That can apply a track and so on. So you can control the slider in order to control the media itself. This is what we call principle of continuations. Okay, so this is another things that you can see. The logo also follow the continuations. The key design also continuation. Okay, the last one is figure and ground, right? the principle that been used, I think most popular, among the most popular one is figure and ground. When you design something, you have to highlight what is figure, what is ground, okay? For example, if you look into this image, you can see this is figure, and that at the back of the figure is the ground, all right? So in this case, very common model, okay? Figure, the welcome box, this is the welcome box itself. The ground, the transparent background, and soften the content in the back. So if you're looking into photography technique, also they are using figure and ground to apply to our real world, all right? Bokeh technique, for example. But actually, when we see with our eye, we don't have that bokeh things, actually. We see everything clear by using our naked eye, isn't it? But if you have something like lens, for example, you can make things become nicer with a concept of figure and ground. Okay, so this is another example of figure and ground. You see the Google itself apply figure and ground. They put the ground as a white background. And you see these birds, okay, you have a bird as a figure and ground as the surrounding trees, okay. So, okay, next, the last part of Gestalt principle, I will show you something, how Gestalt principle has been applied in the web design, okay. So, you can see this logo, the first one, before we go for the example. You see, in order to understand them, Gestalt, closure, proximity, continuation, similarity, figure and ground, something like that. This design has been developed by this website. You can go and see in detail. So this is proximately, I already explained, okay. Proximately grouping, this is how they apply in web design. If you still remember, this is, I think it's Amazon.com, or maybe you can go for Lazada or Shopee. You can see how they put together. They are not the same, but they have some relationship, okay. Maybe you can say people who choose this item also see this item, or people who buy this item also buy this item. So this they have a relationship. The keyword of proximity is relationship in order to build a similarity, in order to build a group. Okay, continuation, something like this. You can see element arranged on the line of curve are perceived to be more related than element not in the curve. So it means that anything here is related to website. Anything here related to the application. So that's the way how the continuation works. Okay, this is another good continuation work. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, things like that. Okay, and this is normally been done by a lot of web designer in order to help user in understanding the information architecture and so on. All right, similarity. Okay, this is how they go for similarity. You can see the similarity of icon, things like that. Okay, figure and ground, I think apply to many things, including logos and so on. So this is figure and ground. You can see that how they apply figure and ground. They have icon and the background as something that meaningful background to show the meaning of the figure. Okay, something like this. Common fade. This is another things. Okay. Okay, this is I think a heat map by using eye tracker. We can see a lot of people are looking into top left corner of the website. You can see the red color representing most frequent place that people look, or their eye moves to this point more than the other part of the website. That's why the point getting the point heat map here is very different. They look more color here, red color. Okay, this is the one that we can use Gestalt principle to confirm our design, and also we can use eye tracker to confirm whether our design is okay or not okay, whether we highlight the important things correctly or wrongly, something like that. Okay, so this is the symmetrical things and so on. Okay, enclosure also has been applied to IBM, Panda, things like that, the logo experience and so on. Right, there's a lot more, but this is the final summary slide to show similarity, proximity, enclosure, figure and ground, and continuation. So you can see a lot of reference or resources about user interface design not just Gestalt principle, but if you just using Gestalt principle, I think that's good enough for you in getting a better design, a good design that look like you as a designer. Although you are not trained to be designer, but when you apply the Gestalt principle, you will be like designer, something like that. Okay, thank you so much. That's the end of our topic number 6.